Good morning everyone. This is Group 2 and today we will discuss the four conic sections. So for our first one is circle. Circle is a set of points on the coordinate plane that are equal distance from a fixed points. For our standard equation formula, we will use quantity x minus h raised to 2 plus quantity y minus k raised to 2 is equals to r squared. And our formula for the center at the origin is x squared plus y squared is equals r squared. And the general equation formula is ax squared plus cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equals to 0. So for our first example is center at 0, 0 and r is equals to 6. So we will just use the formula x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. So for our first step is, since our x and y is 0, we will just input x squared plus y squared. And for our r is just substitute. So our r is 6 squared. And our second step is x squared plus y squared. We will just copy it and is equals to 36. So how did we arrive that answer? So 6 squared is 36. So that is our final answer. So for the second example is center at 0, 3 and r is equals to 5. So for this we will use the formula quantity x minus h raised to 2 plus quantity y minus h raised to 2 is equals to r squared. So for this, since our x is 0 and y is 3, so we'll just input x squared plus quantity y minus 3 raised to 2 is equals to 5 squared. So just copy the x squared plus quantity y minus 3 raised to 2 is equals to 25, and that is our final answer. So this is the last example for getting the standard equation. So center is 2, negative 5 and r is equals to 10. Again, we will use the formula quantity x minus h raised to 2 plus quantity y minus h raised to 2 is equals to r squared. Again, we will just substitute the given. So quantity x minus 2 raised to 2 plus quantity y plus 5 raised to 2 is equals 10 squared. Kaya naging positive 5 kasi sinubstitute natin to. So negative 5 sinubstitute natin, naging positive 5. Same as the positive 2. So naging negative 2 to. So moving on, quantity x minus 2 raised to 2 plus y plus 5 raised to 2 is equals to 100. So naging 100 yan because 10 squared is equals to 100. Moving on to the standard to general. First one is center at 4, negative 1, r is equals to 7. So simply, we just do the standard form. So for our standard form formula is quantity x minus h raised to 2 plus quantity y minus k raised to 2 is equals to r squared. So for this, we will just substitute the x and negative 1. So quantity x minus 4 raised to 2 plus quantity y plus 1 is equals to 7 squared. So we just substitute the given and moving on, quantity x minus 4 raised to 2 plus quantity y plus 1. So we did just copy the given and 7 squared is equals to 49. So hindi pa tayo tapos dun. Moving on, quantity x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equals to 49. So, paano natin nagawa yon? So, tinimes natin siya by itself. So, x times x is equals to x squared. 4 times 2 is equals to 8x plus 4 times 4 is equals to 16 because it is 4 squared. Same as sa kabila sa y. Ganun din ang gagawin. Our r is 49. So, moving on. So, paano natin nagawa to? So, inarrange lang natin siya kagaya nung sa formula. So, x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 2y plus 17 minus 49 is equals to 0. Paano naging 17 yun? So, inad lang natin yung 16 and 1. So, naging positive 17. Yung 49, inilipat. So, naging negative 49. Tapos, equals to 0 na siya. So, for our final answer is x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 2y minus 32 is equals to 0. Paano natin nagawa yun? So, pinag-add natin ang 17 and 49. So, positive 17 plus 49 magiging negative 32. So, moving on to the general to standard. So, the given is x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 10y plus 18 is equals to 0. That is our general form, and we're trying to find the standard form. So for our first step is quantity x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 10y is equals to negative 18. So how did we get that? So ginamit natin ang formula ng standard form to substitute. So our h is negative 6x and our k is negative 10y. And our r squared is negative 18. So for our second step is quantity x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus negative 10y plus 25 is equals to minus 18 plus 9 plus 25. So, paano natin nakuha ang 9 and 25? So, hahanap tayo ng mai-squared sa 9 and 25. So, ang squared ng 9 is 3. So, 3 squared is equals to 9 and 5 squared is equals to 25. So, for the third step is quantity x minus 3 raised to 2 plus quantity y minus 5 raised to 2 is equals to 16. So, paano natin nakuha yun? Yung nakuha natin to, so, dinivide natin ang negative 6 at negative 10. So, ang negative 6 divided by 2 naging negative 3. Ang negative 10 divided by 2 naging negative 5. So, that will be quantity x minus 3 raised to 2 plus quantity y minus 5 raised to 2 is equals to 16. How did we get 16? So, negative 18 plus 9 plus 25 is equals to 16. So, for the last one is quantity x minus 3 raised to 2 plus y negative 5 raised to 2 is equals to 4. So, we did just copy the x minus h and y minus k. So, for our r, we just simply find the square root of 16. So, our square root of 16 is 4. So, that is the final answer.
Hello guys, so today we're going to tackle about parabola for our next conic section. Now, what is parabola? Parabola is a set of all points on the coordinate plane that are equal distance from a fixed point and fixed line. The fixed point is called focus of the parabola, and the fixed line is called directrix. Now, let's try to make a graph and put that into perspective. For an example, we have a graph here. This will act as our axis. This will act as our directrix. And we're going to draw the graph of a parabola. This is what a parabola looks like. And now, what we're trying to find is the focus of the parabola. This will act as the focus of our parabola graph. And this will act as our vertex. Now that we got our perspective, let's head on to the next, which is the standard and general formula. Now, standard formula Just for an example, we have quantity x minus h squared is equals to 4p, or we can put 4p y there if you want. It's quantity of y minus k. So for the vertical standard form, we have up and down, which means for the up, it's, I mean, which means basically the upward or downward has the same formula or standard form, which is this one. So that will be x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. That will be standard formula of vertical from up and down. Now, let's explain or show the standard formula of the horizontal form. The horizontal form is different from the vertical. It will serve like y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Therefore, horizontal is a little bit different. It will serve as left and right. And this will serve as the standard form for the rightward and downward. Right? I mean rightward and leftward. Now, let's explain the next one, which is the general formula of vertical. Now, the general formula is a little bit different. Let's take for example. Our vertical general form is ax squared plus dx plus ey equals to 0. And for the horizontal, we have ay squared plus dx plus ey is equal to 0. That will serve as our general formula for both vertical and horizontal. Now, before that, let's head on to the properties. Properties are a little bit different. Therefore, it will serve as our, or we will find the axis, opening, vertex, focus, directrix, and the LR, which is the lattice rectum. So, let's try. Axis. This will serve as the axis table. Oops. Let's just fix that. This will serve as horizontal. And this will serve as vertical. So, for the axis, we have the opening. Which means the opening equals to P, or right. Right means positive, okay? And left is equals to negative. Same here to the vertical, which means up, down, upward is positive, and downward is negative. Now, for the vertex, the vertex we have is V, or vertex quantity is H plus or H and K. This will serve as our value, and it's the same for vertical, H and K. And for the focus, we have F quantity, H plus P, comma, K. And for the vertical, it's going to be the opposite side, which means H minus K, or no, I think I'm off or I'm wrong. It's gonna be like H comma K plus P. There. So directrix, we're going to serve as X equals H minus P. And for the X, this serves by X, it's because it's horizontal. Horizontal means left and right, right? And for Y, this is going to be Y because it's vertical. So it's going to be K minus P. And for LR, latus rectum, it's just the same value for P. And that is our properties and formulas. Okay, let's head on to making standard formula or standard form to general form. So let's start. So what we have for this example is x minus 2 squared equals 4p quantity y minus 2 quantity. So the first step we're going to do is multiply these terms. So it will turn out like x squared minus 4x plus 4 and equals to 4p y minus 2. So we're not done yet here. Now let's solve this 2. So 4 times 2 is equals to 8. 4, 8. So it will turn out like 4y minus 8. Since it's negative, so it's going to be negative. So minus 8. So let's expand these terms. So let's say x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 4y plus 8 plus 8. After that, we're going to combine them like wait. We already made them combine like terms. So what we only need to do is to make them general form. So we're going to do this. We're going to follow the formula of ax squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equals to 0, we're going to follow this formula to make the general form. So x squared minus 4y, 4x minus 4y plus 12 is equals to 0. Oops. So that is how you form standard form to general form. Now, let's move on to general form. Let's say our given is what we got earlier, which is this one. So let's take it for an example. Since we're going to transform general to standard. And remember guys, our standard form is x minus h squared equals 4p y plus k. Kinda dumb for writing it like that. So let's move on. So for an example, we have our given x minus 4, 4x minus 4y plus 12. Oops. Plus 12 equals to 0. So what we're going to need to do first is to bring them down. X squared minus 4x minus 4y plus 12. After that, we're going to write them into this plus 4y minus 12. We're going to make this negative. So after that, we are going to complete the square. It will turn out like this. X squared minus 4 x plus 4 equals to 4y minus 12 plus 4. And after that, we're going to make it this. And then, therefore, it will become x minus 2 squared equals 4y, this is the 4y by the way, minus 8. Oops. Then, this will serve as our final answer. Oh, I mean, it will going to go like this. Minus 2. Just like, so this is the final answer. So, we did transform general form to standard. Now, let's go to properties. For our next example, let's say we have a vertex of 2, 3, and a focus of 2, 6. just ignore that. So what we're gonna use, so let's remember that since the focus is about the vertex, same as x and larger y. So it means if y is larger, it means it should be a vertical, and it opens upward. So vertical, upward. And since it's vertical form, and up, I mean, since it's up, it means vertical, right? So we're going to use x minus h, x minus h, quantity squared, plus 4a minus y, k. We're going to make this b. I just made it a. So our values is known as x and k, right? So our values is, say, oops. So our values is, example, h is equals to 2 and k is equals to 3. Since this is where we got it. Our and to get the distance between vertex and focus of A, and we'll make this A. 2 times 3 is 6, right? So 3 minus 6 minus 3 is equals 3, right? So substitute. So next step 3, substitute it into the standard form. So what we're going to do is x minus 2 squared equals 4, 3, and y minus 3. By the way, this a stands for this. This is the value for 4 that we can multiply later on. So this 4 quantity 3 will transform to, no, it's not 4. It will transform into 12 since 4, 8, 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Then let's start to list all the properties. So we have the vertex first. Let's erase this. So what we have for now is we have the vertex of 2, 3, and the focus of 2, 6. And to find the directrix, since y is equals to 0, since y equals k minus p for 4 equals 3 minus 3. And since 3 minus 3 is equals to 0, so it's going to be, it's not x, since it's vertical, we're going to do is y. It's going to be 0. So the axis of the symmetry is going to be 2. And there we have it, the properties. So that's all for parabola. See you guys for the next conic section. So bye.
Okay, for our ellipse, so ellipse is a set of all points whose sum from a distance coming from two fixed points are constant. So for our ellipse, we also have standard equation in general form. So for standard equation, we have horizontal and vertical equation. For our horizontal, we have the quantity of x minus h quantity squared over a squared plus the quantity of y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. And for our vertical, y minus k squared over b squared plus the quantity of x minus h squared over a squared equals 1. And for our general equation, we have ax squared minus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So here are the properties for our ellipse. We have the axis, center, vertices, co-vertices, foci, major and minor, also the lactus rectum. Now we're going to solve the standard to general form. Here we have the quantity of x minus 6 squared over 36 plus quantity of y plus 4 squared over 16 equals to 1. So first, we need to get the LCD, and to get the LCD, we need to multiply both denominator, which is 36 multiplied by 16. That will give us 144. And 144 divided by 6 is 4. And 144 divided by 4 is 9. Now we're going to expand the quantity of x minus 6 squared and the quantity of y plus 4 squared. That will give us the x squared minus 12x plus 36 and y squared plus 8y plus 16. And we're going to move or put the 4 times the 36 to the right hand side and also the 9 times the 16 to the right hand side. Okay, now we're going to multiply the 4 times the expanded form. Now it's 4 times x squared equals 4x squared, and 4 times negative 12x is negative 48x, and 4 times 36 is 144. So we're going to cancel that. And then 9 times y squared is 9y squared, and 9 times 8y is 72y, and 9 times 16 is 144. So we're going to cancel that. And also here we have the equals negative 144, and we're going to transpose it to the left hand side and arrange that in the general form. That will give us 4x squared plus 9y squared minus 48x plus 72y plus 144 equals 0. Second example, we are going to transform the general equation to standard equation. Here we have the general equation, which is 9x squared plus 25y squared minus 36x plus 150y plus 36 equals to 0. Now we are going to move or differentiate the variables. Here we have the 9x squared minus 36x plus blank plus the 25y squared plus 150y plus blank equals negative 36. And now we are going to factor this and put the 9 times 4 to the right hand side and also the 25 times 9 to the right hand side. And here, now that we get the 225, we are going to divide both sides by 225, and this will give us equals to 1, and 225 divided by 9 is 25, and 225 divided by 25 equals 9. Here we have the x minus 2 squared over 25 plus y plus 3 squared equals 9 equals to 1. And here are the properties of the example that we solve from general to standard equation.
Good morning everyone, my name is Dennis Clyde, PETA Certificate, and I will be teaching you the hyperbola. So the meaning of the hyperbola is the set of all points where the difference of distances from two fixed points, which is the foci, is constant. So for the standard equation, we have two. For the horizontal axis, it will be x minus h quantity squared over a squared minus y minus k quantity squared over b squared equals 1. And for the vertical is y minus k quantity squared over b squared minus x minus h quantity squared over a squared equals 1. So for the general equation, we have ax squared minus by squared plus cx dy plus ce plus e equals 0. So in the general equation, in order to identify that it is a hyperbola, we can see that between the two squared terms, we have the negative sign. So for the properties, we have the axis, center, vertices, co-vertices, foci, transverse, conjugate, and lattice rectum. As we can see here, the problem that we have is already in a standard form. So the goal here is to convert it into a general form. So x minus 2 squared over 9 minus y plus 1 quantity squared over 4 equals 1. The first step is to remove the denominators by multiplying both sides by the least common multiple, which is 36. So 9 times 4 is just 36, and multiply it to both sides. After that, we must simplify by eliminating the fraction. So 36 minus 9. 36 divided by 9 is just 4, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. Negative 9. So expand both squares, which means x minus 2 quantity squared will be x squared minus 4x plus 4, and y plus 1 quantity squared will be y squared plus 2y plus 1 because of the square binomial. So the next step is we distribute the 4 and the negative 9. So 4x squared minus 16x plus 16, and minus negative 9y squared, negative 18y, and negative 9. So combine like terms. 16 minus 9 is just 7. So and rearrange the terms, it will be 4x squared minus 9y squared minus 16x minus 18y plus 7 equals 36. So the next thing that we will do here is to move 36 to the left side. 36 minus negative 36, it will be negative 36. Negative 36 plus 7, it will be negative 29. So the final answer is 4x squared minus 9y squared minus 16x minus 18y minus 29 equals 0. The next step is to change the general form into the standard form. So we have here 4x squared minus 9y squared plus 32x minus 90y minus 197 equals 0. So the first step is to group x terms and y terms. Next step is to leave a blank for the constant terms. The next step is to factor out. So 4x squared plus 32x, we could factor out 4 in here. So 4 times 4x squared plus 8x plus blank. And the next is negative y, negative 9 times y squared plus 10y plus blank. So the next step here is to complete the square for each group. So x squared the key here is to use the middle term. The coefficient of the middle term is 8, right? So divide it by into 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 4, we squared the 4. It will be 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Same goes for the 10. 10 divided by 2 and squared, which means 25. Because 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 5 squared, 5 times 5 is just 25. The next step is to balance. Then we will simplify, which means 4 times x plus 4 is quantity squared minus 9 times y plus 5 quantity squared equals to 36. The next step here is to divide by 36, which means it will be x plus 4 quantity squared over 9 minus y plus 5 quantity squared over 4 equals to 1. The next problem we have here is solving by the given of just properties. For example, center at origin 0, 0, vertices at positive negative 5, 0, foci at positive negative 13, 0. So what should we do here? The first step is to identify the h, k, and a, b, c. So we see that the center is h and k, right? So 0, 0 is just h and k being 0 and 0. So the a, we must identify what is a. So looking at here, the vertices, it is given in the, it is located in the h area. So it says here it's 5, right? So a is equals to 5 because a is the pair of h, and b, we can't actually find the b in here, so let's leave it question mark. So the c here, which means the foci, right, is equals to 13. We can see here by solving for b squared, it is equals to 144. And by looking at it, we already know that it is x squared over 25 minus y squared over 144 equals 1, because we already complete the identities.